what a great view it is from the truck. Good shot, you guys. Nice tight close in on that. Shows the crowd starting to build here. And again, right around Twilight, which is famous in the swagger lore. Athens Twilight, the granddaddy of them all, which was just a few nights ago. To the racers, probably feel like a decade ago. Tired legs are going to be pervasive. We talked to one of the racers, Joe Eldridge, former pro. He's like, man, it looks easy, but this horse is hard. So it's got three things that we love as commentators. Great view. We can see 360, and you guys can too. Beautiful backdrop in a great town, which is 2 and 2B. And the final and third one is fast, hard racing.
I thought the final one was going to be snacks. Suwanee set us up. We got snacks galore over there. Thank you, guys.
Snacks.
We don't get that very often.
Snacks. What'd you get over there, Frankie?
I had some grapes. I had a banana. I had the little animal crackers. I had a Coke.
Bill?
A little bit of everything.
You got an orange, didn't you?
I had a Clementine, and I had a couple of the chocolate chip cookies. I can never turn those down.
You can't. Well, see, I had a discussion with one of my close friends today, and we were talking about I prefer the flavor of clementines over oranges.
I'm in agreement with that. Clementines are one of my go-tos. Right now we're looking at our leader, or our winner rather, from last night, also currently leading. And that's going to be Mr. Stovall, riding for the Mustang squad.
Come on, guys, they're slowing down up there. Slowing down. Good chance to be able to get on the back. Got to see the who rider on the dead last is. I don't know, for some reason I want to think that he raced earlier.
I hate to say this, but I'm flashing forward to 2030. Want to know why? Because this location, you have a volleyball event in the morning, followed by a 5K, followed by bike racing. Anyone want to bite on that?
I think it makes total sense to elevate the event day here in Suwanee. Of course, thanks to our friends at the Gwinnett Sports Commission for making this a reality, adding another great stop to our Speed Week series.
Gwinnett County, one of the famous counties in the state of Georgia.
Well, on the back of that group last lap when coming through, I said maybe that rider, I think he looked familiar because he raced earlier, because he did. He won the 60 plus. Butch Brookins turned around and clocked into the category 2-3 race, and he's going against now 19-year-old, 20-year-olds.
His grandkids.
Honestly, he's the oldest rider in the race at 61 years of age. Here's your lead group starting to be able to split up. Oh, Baden going across. Love being able to see that. Baden Rogan now. The rest of the riders having to react to the situation of what's happening in front of them.
SCAD always does a good job of confusing us. Maybe it should be SCAD with a little A and SCAD with a little S. For Savannah and Atlanta. Of course, they think it's all the same thing, and it, quite frankly, probably is.
A little bit of a split starting to come off the front of the group right now. Looked like the last lap, one of our Skyway riders was doing all the damage. Alex Salinas was the man on the gas at the front. He looks like he's still on the front, trying to encourage his fellow Breakaway riders to commit to the effort here right now, as it looks like we've got about 6 riders trying to break free.
Oh, man, we've got some splits happening here, the 2-3 race. Normally, a lot of these guys would be racing in a regional Pro 1-2-3 race. But it's Speed Week, You got to swallow your pride and race in a category that you think you're going to do pretty good in. And a lot of riders that, you know what, I'm going to go to Speed Week and I just want to test it one night. And then you're out in 10 minutes and you're like, what? That is light years difference than my ability right now.
Yeah, it's always funny when you see that level, that difference in physical ability kind of underscored like that. But you got to start somewhere, right? Every time you move into a new category, it's kind of like starting over all over again. So it's a tough jump to come out of the 2-3 race here, no matter how dominant you are, and even be a force at all in the Pro 1-2 race later. You can see that split has kind of all come back together. The riders coming off the gas just a little bit. You got one rider looks like he's going to attack down along the fencing here, try and keep the pace high, and that is always the trick. Everybody's tired. You sense that slowdown, and that's when you hit them again. Because at some point you're going to make it snap, and Ben Rassick from the Full Send squad, he's the man on the mission trying to keep this thing rolling.
Yep, from Full Send.
If you look straight across to the backside of the course, you can see that thing get incredibly stretched out. Not only are they single file, but you can actually see little gaps between the back wheel and then the front wheel of the rider behind. And that means everybody is just absolutely desperately trying to stay on the wheel, to stay on the track, because the pace is so hard. It's not just hard in a straight line, as you see our leaders dive into that very fast final turn that points them down the hill in our direction. But they've got to stay composed, and they've got to be able to kind of multitask, if you will, out there to be able to corner safely at high speed. So John Stovall leading the charge through. Stovall, again, he was your winner in this category last night. And last night he waited a little bit. He waited till really the last couple of laps before he showed himself at the front. And he made that one attack of the day really count. He was able to just get enough daylight and hold off the rest of the field for that win. Today, maybe he's sensing that this field is going to be a little more tired out, a little more quickly out there today. The course a little bit harder, and of course, we're just one more day deep into the Speed Week series of races. And with every passing lap, every passing day, these riders get a little more fatigued and a little more fatigued. So it makes sense that you might be able to get away. You might be able to snap the elastic a little bit earlier in these races as the week progresses. So Stovall's giving it the old college try there, riding for that Team Mustang squad out of Pennsylvania.
Billy, you down if the flyover, they start doing the wave during the pro men and pro women's race? Is that a thing right now? Can we, or do we just abolish it, or is it down? Are we good?
I think it's a requirement of being up there.
Oh,
okay. That's the only
well.
way. If you don't do it, you get unceremoniously booted off the walkway.
Wow. Okay.
I think I see our ringleader up there, right in the middle. She's going to be our ringleader.
Wait a minute, you can't be in the middle and do a ringleader, can you? You have to, like, be a bookend?
She seems the perfect person for the job, if you ask me.
All right, okay, duly noted.
She's ignoring me, but she knows. Subconsciously, she knows.
Does this remind you of, like, a George Jetson moment?
That's actually a good analogy.
You know, like the walkways over the city and kind of thing? Stovall feeling well today.
Yeah, this is kind of his MO. Again, he's from the Philadelphia area, which is not too far from my neck of the woods. I'm about an hour north of him, so I see John and his wife very frequently at the local races, and his MO is generally to attack early and often until he snaps the elastic. So not real surprising to see the tactics he's employing right now. Actually, was a little surprised last night that he actually was able to contain himself.
Yeah, I wonder if they do decide to have children. I wonder if that child would be a very good time trialer. Oh my gosh. Those two like staying off the front and going hard.
Well, you know how the saying goes, if you want to be a good bike racer,
pick
your parents carefully.
Carefully.
We're just about 16 and a half minutes into our event here. Some riders already look like they're not having the time of their life out there. Butch Brookins, who we saw racing earlier in our 60-plus category. Tip of the hat to you, my man, for jumping in with the youngsters out here again. Like one of our MBO riders now making his way towards the front, trying his hand at splitting this group up. I'll tell you what, we're going to get some true Twilight racing here tonight, Chad. Our women, our pro women and our pro men yet to come at the completion of this race.
Yeah, I see our USA Speed Week guest Instagram poster over there. Peter Mullins, the Aussie. The Australians here giving us, between her and Lucas Burgoyne on the men's side, doing a little thing about what they are and their experiences of Speed Week. Not just racing, but food and travel and car washes and the beginning of the bike races and the end of the bike races. So if you're interested about what PETA and what Lucas are up to, follow them on their social media or follow Speed Week on the Instagram. At USA Speed Week.
Right now, 3 riders on the move. 2 of those riders representing the Equipo MBO Racing Squad. We've got Diego Galliano and Nelson Romero both up there. And they are representing in that white kit. We'll see who that 3rd rider is in the red.
Yeah, they came up. I don't know if you're there, Bill, but they came up and talked to Frankie and I, and they're loving this. Loving the racing that's happening here in Speed Week.
Well, they've been a huge part of it. They've been actually very aggressive all week long. We've been talking an awful lot about these riders. So great to see them enjoying themselves. Looks like Jeremy Spafford from the North Georgia Cycling Association is the 3rd rider in question there in that red kit. But just like that, the high-speed nature of this course looks like it's going to button everything all back up together. The field just about to make the catch as they dive back into that right handle of turn number 1.
All right, looks like it's going to get gobbled back together. They're going to reset potentially.
Well, I think you and I both know that that's probably another great time for another attack, whether it's from another one of the MBO racing riders. We've got at least 2 more that I see on the list. We've also got several riders from Team Wicked who we've not talked about just yet, as well as more riders from the North Georgia Cycling Association. So if you want to up your odds of having someone on your team do well, might not be a bad time right now to throw down another attack. Ten to go, riders, 10 laps to go. The lap counter is live, and we are on 10 laps to go for our Category 2-3 men.
The smell of bike racing. Outdoors, beautiful sunshine, although I don't know if you can really smell sunshine. The food trucks are now, the wind is shifted, so we're starting to get that barbecue and taco smell. A proper afternoon here at bike racing here in Suwanee.
Well, now we're on 9 laps to go, gentlemen. 9 to go, 9 to go, 9 to go. Just like that, Chad, we are getting down to the business end of this Category 2-3 race. Looks like Team Skyway throwing it down a little bit on the front of our field.
We're starting to learn that this race course is pretty challenging. I mean, if you just look at it from the sky view, you're like, hey, regular four-corner crit. Nope, not here in Suwanee. There's an idea of what the course is going to be like, and then there's a reality. And then the reality is it's way, way quicker than we anticipated. Not just quicker, but more technical and faster.
I'll tell you what's fun about a course like this, Chad. I rode a few laps around earlier, and you could actually race this in either direction, and it would be very challenging both ways in different ways.
Huh. Interesting insight from someone who actually went around the course a couple times.
Our lap board now down to 8 laps to go. Here comes our main group of riders. Everything all bunched back together. You can see a little bit of a truce there as one of our MBO riders trying to find a gap to go right up the middle there to carry some speed. Seven to go, gentlemen. 7 laps to go, 7 to go. Somebody's back on the gas on the front. Everybody all lined up. I'll tell you what, once it starts to get this fast, this late in the race, it's probably not going to slow down. It looks like Stovall, last minute winner from the Mustang spot, once again back on the front, trying to give it a little bit of stick there. You can see it's not all out of that. There's no real violent acceleration. Just kind of went to the front of the group and up the pace a little bit. Maybe that's a tactic to try and set up one of his teammates. We know that there's at least one other Mustang rider out in that group, so we'll see if that's a little bit of a tactical play for his teammates. They now dive into that left turn to head to the very top end of the course.
Yep, this is the Suwanee High Line Criterium. We want to thank, of course, Gwinnett Sports Commission, the title sponsor, Piedmont Eastside Medical, Suwanee's local Walmart, Stillfire Brewing, Community Foundation for Northeast Georgia, and Renaissance Bank. right, 6 to go there. 6 laps to go. Oh, there's a late race attack right there. As the twilight starts to dawn here in beautiful Suwanee, we've got our men's 2-3 race on the course. That is what we call our, as Bill put it, our AAA of bicycle racing. 2+ AAA, somewhere around there. If you're a Braves fan. I think Richmond's the AAA for the Braves.
All right, the fireworks have started here. 5 to go. Riders 5 laps to go.
Pew, pew, pew.
Jeremy Spafford from the North Georgia Cycling Association making his bid for glory there off the front. It's going to be a tall order to try and run this one solo. This course very, very fast out here. You get bogged down a little bit on those 2 inclines and the rolling momentum from the fields as they head down on the back straight there and then of course down to the final turn. That's pretty hard to hold off that big rolling mass of speed.
As a reminder, pro women, your staging is behind the trailer. That's where you'll be entering onto the course. Once again, right before our start-finish line, the trailer, you're going to be on the other side of the trailer entering onto the course. It's right where all you guys are. You guys are all in the right position. Yep, you're good. You're all good. Yep.
And as Frankie said, if we can have the ladies start making your way over there so we can get you started promptly and quickly. Four to go. 4 laps to go.
Baden Rogan still in that, one of the youngest riders in the race, only 19 years old. I think he's in a SCAD uniform. Trying to keep an eye out on him. I just saw him there last lap. Maybe he moved up a little bit. Again, we had one of our 60-plus riders in here, 61 years old, 58 years old, and everything in between as these riders are coming through, seeing 4 laps to go.
All right, attention ladies and attention pro men. Please make sure at the start line you have a transponder. That's kind of big, because that's really the only way we can score you because you guys are so fast. Pro men, pro women, please make sure that you have a transponder on your bicycle. Make sure that your number's on the left side. If we have to tell you that, we're gonna send you to the car.
On screen right now on the far right-hand side of your screen, that's going to be Stovall making his way down. He's in the front. Talked about him being the winner yesterday. MBO now on the front, as that's going to be Diego Galliano. So Equipo MBO coming out of Miami. So MBO, I just found out, moments between miles, that's kind of what it stands for, is they're making their way around. Nice, solid team with some 2-3s, some pro women and pro men. Yesterday we saw one of those riders sprinting a lap early. She sprinted 1 lap early, thought she won the race, but it was 1 lap to go.
2 to go, riders. 2 laps to go. 2 to go for our field. Category 2-3. We are now down to the final moment of their race. They're officially inside that 2-lap to go mark. You can see everyone looks like they've got sprint on the brain. The group kind of spread out just a little bit. People taking one last drink from the bottle, kind of looking around, sizing up the competition, figuring out how they're going to make that final play for the finish line.
He said he hadn't ring the bell all week, so he wanted to ring the bell. So I was like, you know what, you're right. Let Chad ring the bell.
All right, Chad, hang tight. We'll let you know when it's time, son.
You can give this guy 1 to go. Chad, ring the bell. There we go. We're ringing the bell because it's going to be 1 to go, 1 to go, 1 to go. Look at these guys all battle for position. It's 1 lap to go. Final lap, final lap. 1 to go for everybody, 1 to go for everyone.
The whole MBO crew is up there at the front trying to dial things in. We'll see if they can't get that lead out in effect. We're going to see that moto come into sight here in just a minute on the far side of the course. Remember, those MBO guys are all in that primarily white kit. They're pretty much swarmed around the front. Looks like they're first, second, and fourth positions right now. So it is going to come all the way down to the wire. We're going to be treated to a big, wild field sprint. We talked about how fast the pros would be later. Well, these 2-3s, they're kind of the undercard to the pros. They're going to be very, very fast. One rider doing a great job to hop that curb and stay away from crashing.
As long as you stay upright, mission accomplished. Look at the 3 riders from MBO, the gray jerseys, working very well together. Trying to be able to cut off the inside line. An excellent move. MBO,
close the door.
Here they come.
That was what you call closing the door. MBO's coming out of the turn. And here they come to the finish line. It looks like they're going to go 1 y 2. 1-2 from MBO. Boys from South Florida have got some giddy up. Coming up, the 2 main events. Your women's elite and pro race.
Hey, Suwanee, put your hands together. Our final rider coming across the line. Hey, nice job. Hey, you have ups and downs. That's how bike racing goes. Women to the line, women to staging. Welcome, everyone, as we're getting ready for our 5th race, the Highline Criterium, presented by Gwinnett Sports Commission, a beautiful brand new park built in August of 2024. Up on the high side, you have our food truck. You have the beautiful pond, volleyball courts, even a super playground built by 1,200 volunteers, all city for the 7th edition of Spin the District, brought to you by Atlanta Airport District. Triangle course of about 1 kilometer around, and riders continue to be very, very aggressive, trying to be able to attack and trying to be able to get a breakaway. They know what can happen if it comes down to a sprint, so different riders from Kingdom trying to be able to attack, as Heidi Praderis picked up the first mid-race sprint. Then we had the Colombian rider who took off 1 lap earlier on the Gambler Pream, and then that led it to the final lap where Kendall Ryan and Holly Breck finished 1st and 2nd for Legion of Los Angeles, and then it was Kimberly Escobar from the biker cycling team in 3rd. Ivani Blondin finishing up in 4th right behind. Men's race, as the sun started to go down, temperature still hovering at about 85 degrees. Very aggressive racing coming from different riders as Robin Carpenter led them through. We saw Michael Garrison on the front. Caleb Landgrebe having a fantastic race as well. Lucas Burgoyne, the sprinter, not waiting around, getting into the breakaway. At different points, we had a break of 4, then we had a different break of 6. Alfredo Bueno tucking in, finding himself in the lead once again. It was the third breakaway until Bueno by himself was off the front, trying to be able to hold on to a 20-second gap, and he fell down, sliding out. That left Carpenter and Garrison to be able to battle it out for the end. Coming into that final turn, Robin Carpenter with his crit speed coming out and then leading it into the sprint. Garrison not able to come by as Legion of Los Angeles picks up the win. Michael Garrison in second, and then it was Danny Summerhill bringing home the field sprint for third. On our women's side, Holly Breck will keep the overall lead. Kendall Ryan's on the top step because of the win. Kimberly Escobar from Biker Cycling Team puts herself on the podium for the first time in third. On the men's side, once again, Robin Carpenter with the winner's jersey brought to you by Jackrew. Michael Garrison in second, Danny Summerhill in third, and the overall lead staying with Luke Fetzer after 4 races of Speed Week. Sports Commission, welcome everyone as it's race number 5 of Speed Week. 200 points on the line, 50 points for everybody who starts off. 1 point per lap, that's how we run all of our Speed Week races. 5 laps in, mid-race, and 5 laps from the end. There's 5 places deep, 10, 7, 5, 3, and 2. And those points that are taken during those mid-race point sprints will be calculated into your overall standings. Looking at our overall standings, talked about Holly Breck sitting at the top step. Rebecca Lang sitting in second with 983 points. Jenna Nessman, Kendall Ryan, Peter Mullins, Heather Fisher, Ali LaCroix, Elena Quevedo, who's our current leader of the USACRITS series, and of course that's going to be coming up when we go to Spartanburg. Kimberly Escobar with a 3rd place yesterday, and just coming into the circuit and having some great finishes, Ivani Blondin. So now getting ready for our call-up, Suwanee. You guys ready for our rider introductions for the pro women? We're going to start off with your current overall leader, sitting first overall, taking a win at Peachtree Corners, a second at Union City. Coming from Chino, California, please welcome Legion of Los Angeles' Holly Breck.
Well, up next, ladies and gentlemen, she's up 2 spots, a 4th, a 5th, and a 7th out of Winston-Salem. Out of Georgia, racing for Team Winston-Salem, Rebecca Lang.
Riding in the purple jerseys of Kingdom United, coming all the way from Miami, Florida. She had a 3rd place at Greenville, a 3rd place at Peachtree. That puts her 3rd overall. Jenna Nessman.
Up next, currently slotted in 4th position and your winner last night in Union City, racing out of California and for Legion of Los Angeles, Kendall Ryan.
Coming all the way from Australia, has had a fantastic top 10 in every single race we've done so far, putting her 5th in the overall series, Peter Mullins.
She resides currently in 7th place overall out of Smyrna, Georgia, racing for Flickr. Please welcome Ali LaCroix.
Rest of the riders to the line, please.
All right, ladies, really quick, 3-lap rule expires with 8 to go. If you're doing it 60 minutes-ish of racing, please, we will give you guys some time splits. Of course, your team managers will be doing that as well. If you're out of contention, we may ask to withdraw. Other than that, I think we are ready to get some highline going on. So, ladies and gentlemen of Suwanee, are you guys ready? We're going to be going on the whistle. Riders, are you ready? And they're off, ladies and gentlemen. Lap number 1. Oh, plenty to come here in Suwanee.
Our women are underway. In the meantime, category 2-3s, you over at the podium. MBO, are you guys over there? MBO Racing, are you at the podium? Raise your hand. I do not see MBO. They're probably hanging out at their bus right down at the end of the course. I guess I can wait a little bit. They picked up first and second. What about, hey, Nick Garcia, are you around? Raise your hand, Nick. All right, where are the MBO guys, do you know? All right, do you wanna, well, I guess we should wait, right? We should wait. All right, that's fine. Take your time. Let me know when the MBO guys show up, and then we'll do your podium. No problem. He's enjoying a little bit of Stillfire Brewery. Still in business over there. Head on over. Suwanee's hometown brewery. Very family friendly, a craft brewery. Opened for 6 years here in downtown Suwanee. Riders Pream, $250 Pream, $250 Pream, $250 Pream, Pream, $250 Pream.
Well, just like that, we're kicking the fireworks off early on in the race. We just ranked the Belgrade $250 Pream, as is the tradition in Speed Week. We like to get the fire lit very early in our professional management winners criteria. So what better way than to dangle $250 for the winner of the lap. So we'll see who's going to be the first one to make a bid for glory out there. Look when they came through with the Winston-Salem rider, Rebecca Lang, who we call the line, was leading the front. She's overtaken by the Blazers and another number of other riders, so we'll see how that battle heats up. It's very, very fast coming out of that final right-hand bend down to the line, so be prepared to be put in absolute awe of the speed that our pro women are going to bring down the line.
Pream on the line right now, trying to be able to sprint for money. Look at him spread out across the road, a big, big sprint. Kingdom Elite in the lead. Alexis Magner sitting in second, but no one is going to touch. Go ahead.
Pretty sure that was Jenny Praderis. It says Morgan Storm here.
So
I think that was Heidi Praderis as well.
So Heidi Praderis, what number did we get? 13?
13's Heidi
Yep,
Praderis.
Heidi Praderis, okay.
Excellent job. Let's move on to our podium. I'm going to give a little bit of time for my Stillfire Brewery drinker to be able to head back over towards our podium. Hey, we're doing the podium right in front of the black and white art area over there. Keep going, keep going. MBO is over there as well. I'd like to be able to start off with Team Endure Racing. You're welcome to be able to bring that beer up onto the podium. He had a third place of Great Sprint. He comes out of Georgia. Please welcome to the podium area, Nick Garcia. Finishing up in second place with MBO Racing Team. They're coming out of Miami, Florida, Nelson Fumero. And the final placing. What a great job by MBO doing the lead out, and he had the legs to finish up the sprint. Your winner from MBO Racing, Gianni Jaramillo. And that's your top three in our category 2-3 on the very first Suwanee race. Jaramillo, Garcia, and Fumero.
All right, Rebecca Lang. Stretch your legs out, followed by, it looks like Kendall Ryan from Legion. All right, you may be asking, well, how do you become the champion of Speed Week? It comes down to points. Lead a lap, get a point. In this scenario, we have a volunteer. Frankie's not very good at, he gets, Frankie's modus operandi, you voluntold people, not volunteer people. All right, so 10, 7, 5, 3, and 2 points after we ring the bell right here. All right, we are going to ring the bell right now. All right, ladies, we have a sprint points. Sprint points on the next lap. Sprint points. Sprint plan. Blah, blah, blah. Sprint points on the next lap. 10, 7, 5, 3, and 2. That is the hardest bell in the world to ring. It's impossible.
So Kendall Ryan doing a lot of the driving on the front right now for the Legion of Los Angeles. Kendall, the best sprinter on that team, so she's obviously got some tactic at play. Her teammate, of course, Holly Breck, also on the Legion of Los Angeles squad. She's wearing the overall leader's jersey right now. She's also a very fast finisher, so that explains Ryan doing a little bit of the domestique work at the moment. She wants to make sure she can get Holly in position to grab a handful of points on this point sprint. Remember, this goes 5 deep. 10, 7, 5, 3, and 2. These add to the overall points tally. The overall win is worth a whole lot more points, but these intermediate sprints throughout every race, well, every point matters. So riders that are in the top of the standings, they know they can't give up an opportunity. As we see Breck lead the charge out of the final turn, so she's very intent to try and open up the account here tonight in Suwanee.
Trying to use as little energy as possible. We're going to see if she can come across that line first. Once again, 5 places deep. Breck just going to pick up 7 again with the minimum amount of energy. Not sure who that rider from Flickr ended up finishing up in second. That was Allie LaCroix who came across the line first. So 10 points for LaCroix. Actually, Christian Perpignan was not second. That was Holly Breck. And then third, Debbie Milne definitely was right there. And Jenna Nesma and Rebecca Lang. Lots of racing to go. And we're only 5 laps in, and we are 60 minutes length. So we start with time. What happens is we start with time. They're going to do about 10 or 15 laps. Then we're going to calculate how long it's taking them to do each lap. Then we will switch over to lap cards. Once we put up the lap cards, the riders will know exactly how long it is to get to the finish. Starting to count down, it could be at 20 laps to go or 15 laps to go. The point is, once they get to the end of the race, it will equal out to be 60 minutes of racing. And up next after this will be our pro men.
All right, that's a great shot right there as the sun is starting to peek its way into the corners of the race course. Izzy Harden looks like first rider through that final turn. It's the Bill Ellison final turn.
Well, Harden's been animating these races all week long, so no surprise to see her in the mix. Also, the white jersey of another one of our Legion of Los Angeles riders. That is Lori Sharp, a multi-time national champion of Jamaica. Last night, she spent a whole lot of time on the front in domestique duties, trying to keep things organized for both Breck and her teammate Kendall Ryan, rather.
So Alexi Ramirez, a Trinidad and Tobago national champion, had a crash a couple days ago, so she's not wearing her national champion's jersey. But Chad, you had talked about how international this field is on the women's side and the men's side.
Yeah, we have literally, for the men specifically, but also for the women, I think the numbers are probably pretty close. 40% of the men's field, it was confirmed last night, are of Latino heritage, which is unbelievable because probably 15 years ago, we might have had 10% of the riders that were of Latin descent, and now it is a massive infusion of Cubans and Argentines. We have a lot of people from Colombia. I would say a good 10 or 15% of the riders are from Colombia. So there is a huge international flair here. As you can see, Kingdom Elite, a lot of the riders are based out of South Florida, but come over like Ailina Quevedo. Frank, you have a great story about Ailina.
Yeah, Ailina Quevedo. Well, let's her come by. We'll try to point her out. And she's going to be wearing number 15. Trying to see where she is in this group right here.
Debbie Milne, of course, multi-time national champion. Right behind her is a former USACRITS champion and Erica Carney. Now, almost said Olive.
So our women getting settled into the rhythm of their race right now. We are 10.5 minutes in. Remember, 50 minutes, or 60 minutes, pardon me. 60 minutes is the targeted race time here tonight. So we're barely just scraping the surface of how much racing they've got to go. Everything all lined out across the backside of their course. Remember, that starts to tilt down a little bit before they make a very, very fast left-hand turn, which takes them to the upper part of the course. And of course, our overall leader, Breck, taking charge right now. So Breck must sense that this course is going to offer some opportunities to naturally split things up. So she is at the front right now, seeing if she can split this thing up.
So on screen right there, 1, 2, 3, about 5 riders back in the purple jersey, getting ready to be able to come through again. Number 15, coming out of Cuba, had to spend almost 15 months in Mexico trying to be able to get to the country. That entire time she did not have her bicycle. You can imagine if she's in a holding area for 15 months in Mexico, she was trying to be able to get up to the United States. Only just arrived into the United States in about December of last year. So she's only been training and getting back on her bike for about 3 or 4 months and then doing extremely well. She's the current leader of our USACRITS series. So real testament to the talent and the mental strength of Ailina Quevedo.
Well, right now the field content to let one rider try and slip up the road a little bit. That looks like the Doylestown Bike Works rider out of Pennsylvania, Juliana Ratucki, slipping up the field. Kingdom Elite deciding they're going to try and bring that one back together. And now they are on to the front. She dives into that left-hander. Everything's still all lined out. You see Carney up there in good position. We saw Hardin up there in the mix as well. Ryan riding very near the front of the race as well. So I think a lot of these riders, they've done enough warm-up on this course, and they know that it's not your standard four-corner criterium. There's not going to be the ability to sit in a whole lot. They've got to get to the front because those selections are going to happen sooner rather than later.
On the front right there, Alexis Magner, your winner from Athens Twilight. Trying to point her around when she comes through. She's right in the middle of the road. And coming back from Europe after riding about 5-hour races over there, doing longer races, she finds herself coming back to be able to race here in America on her break, taking some time off. She won one of the biggest criteriums in the U.S. just 2 days ago and actually winning it for the 3rd time in a row. But Alexis Magner coming back from doing like 4-hour road races in Europe to doing 1-hour criterium, but obviously a very, very strong rider. So she's riding for the team in Siniska, which means she's all by herself. She doesn't have any teammates, but she does have a sister that's riding for Legion of Los Angeles that is in this race.
Actually, her sister did celebrate just a little bit when she was beat on Saturday night. Did a little, I guess you call it a golf clap when she crossed the line, and her sister Kendall Ryan was in 3rd. And now you got Holly Breck to the front. Looks like Allie LaCroix is taking like every chance she gets, she steals a point.
Yeah, LaCroix very active at the front tonight, kind of sneaking her way in there. Also, Peta Mullins riding a little more towards the front of the group than we've seen in the last couple nights. And she's been tending to ride so far back in the group that we almost forget she's in the mix until finally in the last few laps, she kind of surfaces near the front.
And she's been slotting in like 5th, 6th, 4th, 9th. Consistent for sure.
Oh, look at this. Kendall Ryan making a big attack down the home straight right now, so you know the entire group is going to react when that former national champion gets on the gas. She's a very diverse, skilled rider. She can ride well in breakaway. She can obviously has a very good field sprint, so nobody wants to give that rider an inch. So Kingdom Elite now very much on the chase, trying to get an ID on who that rider is. But they've got a fairly significant gap right now, as it looks like that's going to be Rebecca Lang in the red and green from the Winston-Salem squad trying to get across. Lang has been very aggressive early in these races, and it's not really paid off real well. We've seen her try and figure things out, go back to the drawing board a little bit and save her efforts for later in the race when the riders are under fatigue a little bit, but she recognizes the danger right now going on at the front as Kendall Ryan, the multi-time national champion rider for Legion of Los Angeles, keeping the rest of this group honest.
All right, there goes the Energizer Bunny, and Rebecca Lang came over the top in what we call the sport of cycling, when you accelerate through somebody and go over them and through them, and Rebecca Lang is on the attack again. Trying to draw out, so Lang goes for Team Winston-Salem, followed by Kingdom Elite, followed by Legion and MBO. Goes Lang, Nesbitt, Breck, Cardoso, Cabrera. And Bill, do you want to mention Cardoso, Cabrera? Or do you want me?
I'm going to leave that one all on your shoulders, my friend.
So Cardoso, Cabrera had the race won last night. Had it won. Gone up the road. Great attack, great move. But there's one problem. She didn't realize that there was one more lap to go. She celebrated, then when she got close, she started pounding the handlebars and finished like 28th or something. It was just so sad. She was tearful as she came across the line, and we all felt bad for her. Just wanted to give her a hug, but every bike racer's done that. Celebrating a lap too early.
Yeah, unfortunately, maybe not as familiar as she should be with those gambler Preams that we ring the bell for late in the race. Thought she was sprinting for the finale, but very quickly realized the error of her ways. But right now, it looks like Alexis Magner from the Siniska squad back on the front. So we're seeing a lot more action on the front early from some of our heavier hitters tonight than we've seen in some of our other races.
And the reason why the rider in the front, here goes Lang again. Holy smoke.
So Magner, Quevedo, Cabrera, Breck, and Para, your top five through there, followed by LaCroix, Lang, Carney, and Nestman.
And Frankie and Bill have talked about Alexis Magner, and the reason why she didn't have any teammates because her team's in Europe, racing in Europe. She took a little hiatus to come back here to the U.S. and race Athens Twilight and Summer Speed Week.
So in the red jersey, sitting on the back right there, I believe is Isabel Brayton. She's got that bright red SRAM jersey. She had a bad crash in Athens Twilight Criterium and actually popped her shoulder out. She separated her shoulder and never had that happen before. She got it back in, but obviously she was out of the race, but she's a trooper. She took a couple days off and is back out here racing once again. Isabel Brayton, even with that popped out shoulder from 2 days ago, trying to be able to put in her best race here in Suwanee.
Just the sheer thought of forcing your shoulder back into its socket just sounds icky.
Izzy Harden on the attack from Flicker. That's Magner sitting in second, Breck in third, and the rest of the riders coming through. So Ailina Quevedo, who I talked about, being in a holding retention center for 15 months in Mexico, trying to get up into the United States, didn't have a bike, couldn't train, couldn't do anything. She was a good rider in Cuba, and then once she got into the United States, she was able to borrow a bike, start riding again. It's an incredible story, and again, she's a very good sprinter, so we've got to be able to watch out for her a little bit later on. Lots of racing still to go, coming up on 19 minutes into our 60-minute race.
Did you use one of these bike wheels to replace your flat trailer tire?
It's all for science.
There's an unreal feeling to get lifted up by 4 of these blowers. That is pretty cool.
Surf's up, y'all. Get ready for splashes and crashes as I try to ride tasty waves with pro surfer Cassie Metter.
Surfing is about being in communication with the ocean.
I caught eyeball.
domestiques and very responsible for a lot of their success over the past couple years. And she's doing her due diligence right now on the front, trying to contain that pace. And her real role there is just to ride a steady tempo, just hard enough that nobody wants to attack, but not too hard that she tires out her own teammates. Of course, Breck, your overall leader, also on the Legion squad, and Kendall Ryan, the former multi-time U.S. national champion, also on Legion. So tonight, it's all about Lori Sharp working for Breck and working for Ryan. She's doing a great job on her wheel, riding for Piedmont College. That's the former under-23 national criterium champion. That is Erica Carney, who is originally out of the Pennsylvania area, but she's been living down here in Georgia for a number of years. She's just gotten back into the racing world in the last couple of years, and she's already been logging some top 10 finishes in national level competition. I talked to her very briefly on the line today, and she's getting a boost of confidence this week with every passing day. She's feeling a little bit better. Her results are getting a little bit better. So she's hopeful that maybe by the end of the weekend, she might be able to crack herself out on a podium. 19 to go on the lap board, riders. 19 laps to go. 19 laps to go. Just like that, Team Flicker now taking control on the backside of the course. You can see the throttle's been eased off just a little bit there. The rider's starting to ride a little more shoulder to shoulder versus single file.
Oh, that was a little bit close crossing the street right there. Luckily, the riders are paying a little bit of attention. Hey, as you're watching this bike race going around, a beautiful here park, again, opened up in August of 2024. The Highline Park. Pay attention to all the new art sculptures that they have put in. 24 new pieces of art sculpture all in the park, and you can see it on the web stream. Great pieces of art, a fantastic park. Super playground as well. A lot of kids down there playing right now, enjoying it. Over 1,200 volunteers all coming together to put together the super playground. It's a massive play set. And again, it's the very first year for our Suwanee Criterium. Oh, we're so excited to be here. Race number 5 of our Speed Week, the Highline Criterium, presented by Gwinnett Sports Commission.
Interesting.
18 to go, 18 to go.
Interesting, we're not seeing a whole lot of action yet from the Kingdom Elite Racing Squad. They've been very active all week long, riding aggressive from very early on. Tonight, maybe taking a little bit more of a conservative approach, so maybe they've gone back to the drawing board to try and map out a different tactic. They've not gotten anyone on the top step just yet. They've got a number of riders in their ranks that if everything goes right, they've got good luck, well, then they should be able to place somebody on the podium, preferably on that top step. So I think Kingdom Elite kind of rethinking their game plan out here today. Maybe as we start to creep into the second half of the race, we'll see them start to execute what they've got in mind. Our lead moto now coming into sight on the home straight here. And this is going to be another point sprint for the winner of the next lap. Attention riders, point sprint on the next lap. Point sprint on the next lap. 5-place point sprint. 7, 5, 3, 2, and... So Rebecca Lang very quick to go on the move. Don't forget, we've also got cash on that bell as well. $250 on the line. Rebecca Lang trying to jump up through the overall standings. We'll see if Lang can hold them off again. She's been very aggressive all week. She's a very good technical criterium rider. As you see her dive into that left-hander, that's going to take her to the very top portion of the course. She'll make a right turn, and it'll start to point down just a little bit before that final right-hand turn and about 350 meters to the line. Kingdom Elite doing their very best to rein in Lang. She's only got about a 6 or 7 bike length gap, but that might be enough to roll this one.
Well, Kingdom Elite, Jenna Nussman sitting 3rd overall, so wants to be able to move up. Got to be able to, you don't have to catch Lang here, but you don't want Lang to get extra points. And Breck now trying to be able to move up on the right-hand side in the orange jersey. Lang going to pick up maximum points, so that was a nice move. Holly Breck trying to be able to come by. I'm going to give her maybe 3rd, maybe 4th. Holly Breck going to go over the top. Let's see, yes. The strong rider coming out of Chino, California, had all the momentum, catching them by surprise. Now she's on the attack. She doesn't want to go by herself. She definitely wants somebody to come with her, but Holly Breck now finds herself with about a 3-second lead.
Jenna Nussman getting in on that too, as well as Justin Thomas and Alexis Magner picking up some points there as well. So this is a very big move right now by Breck. She made a big attack up the side.
Look at the damage on the back that's happening, Bill, from that last fast lap. There's riders all split up and coming off the back.
Yeah, I think Breck looking to form a little bit of a breakaway here, and she's got, that looks like the SuwaneeGA rider on the chase right now with the Kingdom Elite squad, and several riders falling victim to that pace right now. Breck taking a look back, and you can tell by the body language, she's going to try and milk this effort a little bit. She's going to hope that a couple riders come across, and well, who else is going to be the first one to react but Rebecca Lang, as she now dives into that final turn, leaning way into that turn, carrying a whole lot of speed.
I think that's a pretty good move for Lang. That's excellent. If that 15 pulls off, oh, so Alexis Magner is going to shut this down. That's not going to be good for Rebecca Lang. Holly Breck will go away, so it's a 3-second gap on Lang as the entire field. Kendall Ryan looking pretty comfortable. Alexi Ramirez in there. We got Izzy Harden sitting on the back right now, trying to be able to recover after a couple big efforts as well. Remember, we're only about halfway through, so Holly Breck now riding a little bit of tempo. Lang needs to drift back into the group and try to catch her by surprise again with another attack a little bit later on. But the danger becomes if Holly Breck, how big of a gap is she going to be able to get?
Yeah, we've got a great view when I was walking up there, walking around, stretching the legs out. Up near the beautiful waterfall, the view at 360 is unbelievable, especially where on turn 3 and 4, just to watch the racers dive in. And according to Joe Eldridge and some other racers, the pros probably won't even touch their brakes. Now it's up to Kingdom to try to drive back the overall leader in Holly Breck. So Holly Breck is taking her toys and going home and playing by herself right now. But now Team Winston-Salem, of course, and Rebecca Lang sees that, is keen to it. And it looks like right now that Holly Breck is going to what we call soft pedal, back off the throttle and let him do a complete reset.
Well, as we're now into the second half of our bike race and the action is heating up, it's a great time to thank our friends at the Gwinnett Sports Commission in Suwanee, the town of Suwanee. Suwanee Town Center is the heart of Suwanee, Georgia, offering a vibrant mix of parks, shops, restaurants, and community. It features a scenic park, an amphitheater for concerts, and a bustling atmosphere perfect for exploring. Check out the Suwanee.com website to learn more about this great area.
And Hillfire, of course, with the hazy IPAs, the lager. I think, Hillfire, I think you guys still have plenty of different flavors of beer still available. Yes, they do. That's an affirmativo. Now, Heidi Prederis taking a turn, followed by SuwaneeGA's Alexis Magner. And the pace has been wicked hot the past couple laps. That's for you Bostonians. And right now, Alexis Magner is in a purple rain sandwich. Caveda was third, followed by Heidi Praderas, Ali Lacroix, Breck, Cardoso Cabrera, Frankie. Bill and I talked about her from last night. I hope she gets some redemption.
I think she can. I mean, she's a Colombian. She's on the national team of Colombia on the track team. And we're talking about a rider in a gray jersey with MBO on it. Very strong rider, Cardoso Cabrera. Got to be able to watch out for her. Sitting in the group, she's being... Yesterday, she was a little bit more aggressive following some of the moves. So she's sitting in doing nothing. The biggest, hardest part for her, she's going to have to fight for position all on her own. But try to point her out a little bit later on as we get in the later stages of this race. Her first criterium was the very first race of Speed Week, so she's learning quickly even though she has that track background.
All right, now Fount is making their way to the front. Based out of California, if I recall correctly. What a beautiful... Washington State, sorry.
Oh, look at this. Another move coming down the side here. Look at this right
Easy.
now. Harden making a move, and that's going to be quickly covered by the Legion squad. Kendall Ryan very, very quick to react as they make their way down the left side. Things continuing to split. A lot of fractures starting to happen in that group again. We've amazingly only lost a few riders to the pace, but the ones that are in the back, they are just hanging on right now. That pace still stays hot. Ryan staying on the gas just a little bit as they go across the top of the course directly in front of us here. And that's a little bit of a downhill section that you're looking at right now. It's not dead flat, but it's about a 1 or 2% grade going down that's going to put them into that sweeping left-hand turn.
Former two-time national criterium champion Kendall Ryan on the front. I think that's Luisa Parra from the Biker Cycling team sitting in second, a former track national champion. Man, digging deep there, putting her head down, trying to be able to stay in that group was Alexi Ramirez. She's on that red jersey with Golden State Blazers, and now we see one of the Kingdom riders getting a little nippy with one of the riders that are in the group. And I don't know, I think it might have been one of her teammates sitting in the middle, or maybe it was one of her competitors. Hard to be able to see, but when you're at your limit, it's very easy to set those tempers off, isn't it, Chad?
Yeah, you've got a quick trigger when you're barely able to breathe. There's Kendall Ryan, front and center. She's taking the first pull.
Hey, as a reminder, Pro Men, all Pro Men staging is before our start-finish line, right on the other side of the trailer. Again, all Pro Men, the far end of the trailer, that is where all riders enter the course for staging, as our Pro Men are coming up next. We're getting ready to get down to 10 laps to go as we have a smaller group. The speed has been high, riders have been suffering, they've been coming off the back on a great, brand new course here in Suwanee.
Well, I'll tell you, if any of these teams want to avoid a field sprint situation with the Legion duo, now is going to be the time to start thinking about making some moves, because if this thing comes down to the last couple laps, well, we know that Ryan and we know that Breck are very capable of getting on the podium, going 1-2 again in this race. So Kingdom Elite's going to have to start to think of something up there. We've got a couple of the Fount riders. They're going to have to come up with a little bit of a game plan, as well as the Blazers, to try and upset the apple cart a little bit. Because I think everybody knows that this comes down to a group sprint. That is going to be problematic to try and figure out how to beat the Legion riders. Kendall's a multi-time national champion for a reason, and anyone who thinks that they've got a really strong chance of taking her to task at the line, Well, I'm not sure that that's the best idea. So as we now are coming up on 10 laps to go, these riders have definitely got to figure out what the move is going to be.
Jenna Nussman from Kingdom Elite on the attack.
Don't forget our Aussie friend who's joined us here, Peta Mullins. Mullins, a very good finisher as well, and we can see her tucked in near the front of the group. She knows that we're quickly getting down to the business end of this bike race, so she's got to get herself in position to stay safe, and she's riding solo, so the best thing she can do is try and figure out who she can use to lead her out inconspicuously. And I got to imagine she's going to either follow the riders from Kingdom Elite or follow the Legion riders and try and surf their wheels to get herself into the podium.
Riders, 9 to go, 9 to go.
Lori Sharp there for Legion on the front. And, might as well record this because Rebecca Lang is attacking again.
Lang's another one of those riders. She's sitting very well in the overall, but if she wants to move up, she's got to try and get off the front. She's got to try and get on the podium. She's a rider that definitely doesn't want this to come down to a field sprint because that's going to limit her ability to get top points.
To discover the most dynamic adrenaline-fueled destinations on the planet. Join Jonathan as he explores the world's best adventure cities.
Welcome back to the second annual Outside Festival, presented by Capital One REI.
Their fast riders potentially a little bit isolated in the finale.
And now there's a Debbie Mills sighting, multi-time Masters National Champion. For Supra on the front. Took a couple days off from the series and now has made her way back. Debbie perennial top 15 results. Looks like she had a little crash or something over the past couple of days.
And Debbie, one of the riders that unfortunately hit with death at Athens last Saturday. Good to see that she's recovering and riding back to her normal riding shot. She's trying to look for a little bit of help there on the front of Alexis not just yet. I'm not really ready to take the reins yet. You see Mullins up there. The pink socks, that is Erica Carney, the former under-23 National Criterium champion, who I mentioned I spoke with earlier. She's been feeling better and better every day, so potentially a good sign to see her up at the front as we wind down. But look at this, Chad. Rebecca Lang once again making big moves here.
If nothing else, Rebecca is trying to punish everyone. And what she's really trying to do is trying to thin the group out. Best way to do that is to make it hard. But the teams that want the sprint keep shutting her down. The teams that want a breakaway help her. And there is a counterattack right there. It looks like I flicker.
That's definitely one of our flicker riders making a big effort. I think that's going to be Allie LaCroix making her move. Allie sitting very well on the overall. She's another rider that would be advantageous to see a small breakaway slip away that she could make it into.
Actually, it was Izzy Harden. But nonetheless, it was Flicker. Then Peter Mullins comes up next to her. Saddles in, tries to get some break from the air.
All right, here comes our motorcycle into sight. Because we're getting down to the business end of the bike race, that can only mean one thing over there on the side of the road. We are going to ring the bell for a point sprint on the next lap. Point sprint, 10, 7, 5, 3, 2, up for grabs.
10, 7, 5, 3, and 2. That's the points that are coming up next. They will see 5 laps left to go.
Well, coming on the heels of this point sprint, that might offer up the final opportunity for anyone to use that as a springboard to try to get away in the closing lap. Somebody's going to ramp this pace up for the last half lap running into this sprint. So if you're well positioned, 4th, 5th, 6th reel, might not be a bad time to try and keep that momentum rolling. See if you can find a chink in the armor there and get up the road. Because as we wind down the laps, those opportunities get fewer and fewer. That ability to get away, that real estate starts to close itself up. So right now, Debbie Milne on the front. So once again, the ageless Debbie Milne from the Super Squad is going to lead the charge to the very top of the course. And once they do point themselves down to the home straight, they are going to be sprinting full gas for that 5-place point sprint.
Multi-time Masters national champion Debbie Milne on the front right there, coming on the downhill. You got to be able to test your legs in those sprints. It's a very fast corner and a fast downhill as Kingdom Elite now a little glance over the shoulder. Rebecca Lang sitting in second. Holly Breck picking up points as well. Ali LaCroix, that's your top 4 at least coming through.
Yep, Nesman, Lang, Breck, LaCroix, and Kendall Ryan.
Breakaway. We haven't seen a group sprint. We've seen riders being able to escape, but so far in our pro women's race that has not happened, and I don't really know why. I'm not sure what is going. I mean, obviously these riders are all very, very close in fitness and competitive level, but surprised we haven't seen a breakaway stick, and maybe that last sprint, maybe this just did it, Chad. Look at them. 4 riders. Lang is not sitting up. She continues to push the pace. Finally, we have a gap we can talk about.
Yep, now who's going to be the one to chase it down? Looks like Alexis Magner is going to be there, and Biker Cycling Team also trying to close that gap. Holly Breck is a rider that you want to help you there. LaCroix, looks like Alexis Magner now has dragged 2 Biker Cycling Team riders with her. If nothing else, this is going to blow the race apart. They're looking around, drive. All right, 4 laps up to go, and that may be your group right there.
Couple bikers latching onto the back of that. 4 to go, 4 to go. Oh, big reaction right now. Peter Mullins trying to be able to go across. Erica Carney trying to be able to go across. They realize they can't let 8 riders go up the road. Boy, alarm bells are going off right now. Crunch time has arrived.
Down. It's brought back. Who has the intestinal fortitude to make one final attack? That might be the one that breaks the back of the peloton.
Kendall Ryan just sat back, right? She let everybody else do the chasing. Watch out for the sprint that Kendall Ryan has. Also that MBO rider that almost won yesterday. She's going to be a little bit of a threat. We talked about her, a previous Colombian track champion. She's on the national champions team, or the national team for Colombia. She's riding a gray jersey as well. It says MBO on her jersey.
Well, just like that, it looks like everything coming all back together. The pace easing off at the front. Kingdom Elite up there, Flicker up there. You've got Breck in there. We've also got Lang in the mix. We can see Mullins. Also, we can see Alexis Magner up in that mix, and just so going around the outside on the left, Kendall Ryan putting herself into position. They are going to see 3 laps to go when they come to the line. 3 to go, riders. 3 laps to go, and here comes another attack, Chad.
Yep, I would have bet $1 million in. Good on you right there. Izzy on the attack with the blistering move, followed by Jenna Nessman of Kingdom Elite.
Oh, look at that gap they're starting to pull out already. This is a significant gap by these 2 riders. Legion is going to have to react very quick, and this is a long way to go to try and lead it out for Legion, so a little bit of a risky move.
Yeah, Legion missed that. Now it's up to Kendall Ryan to drag it back. Boy, is that a powerhouse move by Kendall Ryan. I said 1 attack would do it, but maybe it's going to take 2 or 3.
Well, that's the thing right now. You're going to need another Kingdom rider or one of our other Flicker riders to go over the top. Keep that pace high. That's the only way they are going to beat the juggernaut of the Legion riders, because we know, you can tell by the way things are going right now, that we've got Ryan doing a whole lot of the work for her teammate Breck.
Check it out. Nothing you want to see when you're on the road, but we have Suwanee police here. Thank you guys so much for bringing your radar gun. We don't want to see it anywhere else but right here. Here they come. They're going to have 2 laps left to go, and we're going to get an idea of just how fast these women are. Not this lap, but the next one. All right, we're going to do the Gambler Pream on this lap. Attention riders, Gambler Pream, Gambler Pream. $250 winner of the next lap. $250 for the winner of the next lap.
Oh, man, let's hope this doesn't cause the chaos that it caused last night, or maybe we hope it does, because it was a huge game changer going into the finale. We see Magner and Breck diving into turn number 1 right now, and I don't know if they're thinking about that 250 or if they're thinking about a long-range attack. Look at the gap, 3 riders now.
Oh, Bill, good call on that. This race is coming apart at the seams. There is water coming on board this ship right now. Who's going to plug the holes?
That's Peta Mullins, the 3rd rider to get across in the green. So Peta Mullins, our friend from Australia, making it across that group. So 3 riders. We'll see if they can't get it done as we look at our motorcycle. They are going to be coming across the top of the course right now, coming down into sight. It is still 3 riders with just a little bit of a gap. Suwanee, now is your time to make a little noise. You've been great all night long, but we want you to make a whole lot of noise for our pro women, because we are going to ring the bell. 1 to go, 1 to go, 1 to go, 1 to go, 1 to go.
1 lap to go, and everybody scramble to get by the turn. We got places, NBO, Biker Cycling Team. Wow, this last lap was absolutely blistering.
Well, I'll tell you what, that $250 Gambler Pream did its job. Breck leading the charge through the turn. You can see a whole lot of gaps forming. Riders are going to be out of it. Breck up there in the mix. Peta Mullins in his second wheel, riding very cagey. It looks like one of our Blazer riders in the mix as well. They're now on that last little downhill before they make the left. That's going to get them to the top of the course, and from there it will be all downhill, Suwanee, and you're going to have one more opportunity to make some noise for our pro women. Everyone who's up there on that walkway, you guys can hear me. You've had the best view in the house, and now it is your time to shine. Make a little noise, our pro women coming down the line.
Look at Cardoza Cabrera sitting in second position, a glance over her shoulder. Peter Mullins waiting to pounce the Australian, but it's Kendall Ryan on the front. Kendall Ryan, one of the fastest sprinters around. Cardoza slid out a little bit with the rear wheel. She made a mistake yesterday, trying to be able to make up for it. Kendall Ryan looks over. Now Peter Mullins, but it's going to be from Colombia, winning Cardoza Cabrera.
Ladies and gentlemen, Suwanee is the redemption for Cabrera Cardoza. Wow. I hope this time she comes across the line with tears of joy. I told you the story about it. Great call, Frankie and Bill, to the line. Cardoza Cabrera, your champion, followed by Peter Mullins and Kendall Ryan.
We're getting ready for our rider introductions, going back to our start line as all of our riders are lined up. Pro women on a cool down lap, and right now we are going to have an incredible field of some of the top riders, the fastest riders from around the nation coming right here to our start line. Once again, this is race number 5 of Speed Week. This is the brand new Highline Criterium presented by Gwinnett Sports Commission. Let's get things rolling as I'm going to start off. You can't get any more local than this rider. He grew up doing the Frazier practice nights right across the street. He is a graduate of Gwinnett High School. He's a local rider right here from Suwanee, riding for Flicker, Preston I.
Up next, this rider hails from California. He's currently first overall in Speed Week with 929 points for Team Cadence. Please welcome Luke Fetzer.
Moving on with 918 points, only 10 points from the lead, coming from Winston-Salem. And he's riding for Team Winston-Salem. Second overall in our standings, Will Harden.
Next rider up out of Austin, Texas. They call him Bullet or Cowboy. You pick. Racing for Team Cadence, Lucas Burgoyne.
Coming out of Columbia, 810 points, only one spot from third place. He rides for the brand new Biker Cycling Team. He's 4th overall. Please welcome Juan Arango.
Your next comp, ladies and gentlemen, is out of Massachusetts. He won last night on an epic night of bike racing. For Legion of Los Angeles, please welcome Robin Carpenter.
Coming all the way from Columbia, riding in the purple jerseys of Kingdom Elite. Multiple-time winner of many races in 2024, the strongman, Brian Gomez.
3-time national track champion out of New York, hailing from Venezuela. Ladies and gentlemen, for Foundation, Clever Martinez.
Another local rider coming from only 10 minutes away in Buford, Georgia. Guess what? He's only 16 years old. Riding for the Hot Tubes team, he's as competitive as ever, Matthew Crabb. Rest of the riders to the line.
Hey guys, look down. If you do not have a transponder, real quick, if you don't have one, we have them on ready. Everybody has a transponder? We need one more.
Ama Insect, need a transponder. Anybody else need a transponder?
Ama, go to the pit, buddy. Turn around and head to the pit. We'll wait.
Yeah, you're already in the back. You can't get any further.
No, he can. Be a lap down.
Riders, hang out. Be patient as we're going to clip on a transponder to Ama Insect. Hey, I'll give you final instructions as you're sitting around. Free laps are over with 8 laps to go. No more free laps with 8 laps to go. Neutral service is in the white tent that's behind you on the right-hand side, right after the trailer. You'll be able to go in there. You have a crash, an accident, some kind of problem. Go in there to be able to take your free lap and then be able to come back out. We will be pulling riders out of contention, so pay attention to that. Immediately afterwards, we're going to do your podium, top 3 right here on the street. So once again, top 3, come back here, hang out in the street, and we'll have your podium.
What a great course this is. We're getting ready to go here in Suwanee at the Highline Criterium. I think we've got everybody down there.
Waiting for Ama to get that transponder, then we're going to get things underway. Hey, spectators, you guys are having a fantastic time. I just want to let you know, as you're standing here watching at the start-finish line, Very important. Have a chance, walk down to turn number 4 or walk down to turn number 1. It's a very different perspective watching these guys fly around the turn, bikes leaned over at a 45-degree angle. You'll hear the tires screeching as they're trying to keep traction. It's awesome. These guys are going to be going around here averaging at least 28 miles an hour. The final sprint, we could hit speeds up to 50 miles per hour. We are getting ready, moments away, as we're getting ready to be able to kick off. Once again, 70 minutes of racing, riders. 70 minutes of racing. We're still waiting for Ama. We're doing 60 minutes of racing, riders. 60 minutes of racing. Clever, come on. That 10 minutes is going to make it, yeah, with you, it will make a difference, right? Oh, you want to go, what do you want to do? Go down to 30 minutes of racing? Clever, watch a 30-minute race.
Track racers are like, yeah, we're good. Let's do it.
Look at the lights just popped up. What a glorious park. Volleyball still going on. The beer still flowing. This is what I'm talking about. A downtown venue unmatchable by any other city. Come on, Ama.
All right, make sure that our timers are ready. Judges are ready. Chief officials ready. Hey, gentlemen, Suwanee, are you ready? Riders ready on the whistle. Get out of here. There goes our pro man on the course.
All right, things in action here. Just about a minute in. That means we're going to see our pro men rolling down the hill to wrap up a lap at number 1. Team Cadence taking charge on the front. They had a rough night last night with their leader, Fetzer, coming down in a bit of a crash. And now they're hoping for a little redemption tonight. So the best way is to get on the front right away. But hey, guess what, Suwanee? We are going to ring the bell. $250 Pream. $250 Pream. Big field of riders here tonight, arguably a little bit bigger than what we saw last night in Union City. Lots of guys eager to check out this brand new course here in Speed Week, and everything we've heard so far from the riders and the spectators is this has been top notch so far. Our German friend now on the front, he took the $250 Pream on last Sunday, that opening green at Peachtree Corners. And we're going to see if he wants to try and get another $250 in his pocket. That rider was a member of the Jumbo-Visma team over in Europe. He's now here in the U.S. trying his hand at Criteriums. Just like that, our German friend has won the Pream there, so another quick $250 in the pocket for him. The rider in all black coming through there on the front, Maurice Ballerstedt. One big, long line of riders, a lot of big teams coming out to play here tonight. Of course, the men's side of the Legion program. Robin Carpenter taking a great win last night after his teammate Alfredo Bueno had been off the front solo by himself the last few laps and unfortunately misjudged one of the turns at the top of that triangle course that we were racing on. Came to grief, and unfortunately, no more free laps at that point in the evening. So Bueno unfortunately put himself right out of the race, but Carpenter was on the chase along with Michael Garrison. Well, he made the most of that opportunity, scooped up that final $250 Pream, and a lap later took home the win. So we'll see if they can't get it done here again tonight. Justin Williams also a member of that Legion team, the founding member and the manager of that squad out here tonight as well. But let's not forget the leader of the overall Speed Week series. That's Luke Fetzer riding for Skyline. Skyline generally in those green jerseys, but Fetzer, of course, wearing that orange leader's jersey tonight. Lucas Burgoyne winning the race on Sunday at Street Corner, so they've got a dual-pronged approach for this race after Fetzer won the opening night in Greenville last Thursday. So we'll see if they can put last night's bad luck to bed. And one with another win for Williams out here today. Automatic by Avis making their presence known on the front. They've been riding a little bit quietly this series. Last year, of course, the winner at Athens was Tom Gibbons, the founder and leader of that team. And well, I think they'd like to try and right the ship. All the riders riding very well. They haven't been able to put it all together for a good finish. But just like that, we're going to ring the bell again. We've got a point sprint to the winner of the lap. Point sprint, 10, 7, 5, 3, and a 2 to the winner of the lap. And just like that, Big Tom Gibbons getting on the gas, and already a big split about 2/3 of the way back in this group. We've seen some of our undercard races today. This course, very, very challenging to ride 1 or 2 laps to warm up. And you kind of think, it's a fun course. It's certainly you're getting some cool corners playing through. It's got a few more turns. It's got 2 little uphill sections, a couple of very fast sweeping and downhill sections as well. But those 2 little inclines, they really add up at the end of the day. And because it's so fast coming down this home straight out of the final turn, if you're farther than about halfway back, you're doing a whole lot of chasing all the way down that straightaway, only to lay into the brakes and then have to sprint back up to speed out of turn number 1.
Fetzer coming through turn number 1. Look at all the green jerseys. That's Caden Sykery helping him out. Looks like Will Harden is the one that's going to challenge him. Those are the 2 battling for the overall. Tolly Breck sitting right there watching the riders come by. I think she's talking in the radio to let her Legion teammates know what's happening for the men that are in the race. So Holly Breck acting as a director for the men. So unofficially, Fetzer picking up 10 points, and that'd be Will Harden in 2nd and 7. Preston Brian Gomez, and Gibbons. Man, if those guys got together and went up the road, nobody'd be able to bring them back. And I think that's the commitment that we're seeing right now is Gomez getting on the back. Automatic reaction from automatic Thomas Gibbons. You talked about how fast it is through the home stretch, Bill. You can't move up. You come around that final turn, and it's so quick you can't move up. And then by the time you get to the back stretch, maybe you can move up 1 spot, but then you have like turn, and then you're back to the home stretch. That's how short this course is and how technical this course is.
Yeah, and I think that's why some of the heavy hitters already at the front, they realize the flow of this course, and they know that if they find themselves out of position, they are very likely to miss a key split early in this race. So it's better to go on the offensive a little bit early, put yourself up and near the front. There's not going to be a whole lot of ability to try and float on the back of the bus out here tonight. So I think this thing is going to split up rather quickly as Gibbons once again giving it a little bit of stick. Robin Carpenter in that mix. Will Harden also up in that mix. All 3 of those riders breakaway specialists. And, as you alluded to, if those riders get together, that'll be a tall order to bring this one back in. Of course, Harden was your silver medal finisher last Saturday in Athens. He and Clever Martinez took a lap on the field very, very early. Last night, Robin Carpenter was your winner in Union City. So a couple of race winners already up in the mix, trying to get things going this day.
Sitting about 2/3 of the way back, saw Ty Magner with Legion along with Justin Williams on his wheel as they're coming through. Will Harden going through. There's Justin Williams with that Red Bull helmet and the white jersey. A couple automatic riders as well. Ama Insek in that white jersey. He tail gunned almost the entire race yesterday, Bill. I don't know how he actually finished.
Yeah, we kind of joked about that while it was happening yesterday. Kept thinking, man, he needs to move up, but he was able to get it done yesterday and stay in the mix. I don't think he really got anything out of the finish, but just finishing back there after having to brake and reaccelerate all night long was a task well done.
Michael Garrison now on the attack. He got away with Robin Carpenter yesterday. It was a big move by Michael Garrison, so he missed 2 races after the Athens Twilight Criterium. So despite Garrison having a win, a podium, and another podium, he's nowhere in the overall standings because he missed out on trying to gain 400 points, but he's gradually chipping away at that, and he's on the attack again.
Yeah, early in the series, he had the advantage of not being in the overall picture, so he could make some moves, and nobody's really super concerned, but now that he's slowly clawing himself back into the mix, he's going to have a bit of a bullseye on his back, but this is a great course for a rider like Garrison. Really suits his skill set.
So Summerhill now joining a brand new team with Legion of Los Angeles on the attack by himself. Now, this is something I don't think you want to be. If somebody can go solo, Summerhill can probably go solo, but it's not something you really want to do with 50 minutes still or 45 minutes still left of racing. That's way too long to be out there by yourself.
I'd be hard-pressed to think anyone wants to try and make a solo run out here. Danny just kind of making a probing attack, seeing if he can draw out a couple other riders, but he's going to be pretty choosy with who he draws out there. He doesn't want to drag Will Harden of course, up the road, because that would be a little bit of a danger. Robin Carpenter, of course, by virtue of the win last night, moving himself up in the overall standings, so that's going to start to figure into the Legion tactics.
Sitting in second, Clever Martinez, your winner from the Athens Twilight Criterium. Coming out of Venezuela, a three-time national track champion. You can spot him because he has the GoPro on top of his helmet. And right now, currently sitting in about third position as they're trying to be able to track down again Danny Summerhill coming out of Colorado. So taking a look at our overall points, Luke Fetzer is our current leader. Will Harden sitting in second. But you can see how close it is between Lucas Burgoyne and Juan Arango, Robin Carpenter, Jordan Parra on that biker cycling team. So Arango and Parra definitely going to be able to work together, try to be able to do some. Jim Brown is not here tonight, so he's going to fall a little bit further down. And of course, Brian Gomez, Danny Summerhill, which is third place, finally jumped into the top 10 along with Michael Garrison.
Well, looks like things starting to ease up a little bit in the field. One rider again on the attack. That looks like it's going to be potentially another one of our Legion riders making a move up the right-hand side, trying to keep the rest of the group honest. Just when you think it might ease up and there's going to be a little bit of recovery, well, think again. Good to see Automatics riders up in the mix as well. I know they were having a little bit of a team powwow on the curb last night before we pulled out of Union City. I think it's fair to say that was a rough showing for the Automatic guys last night. They're trying to figure out how to turn things around.
That's a Canadian rider, former Criterium national champion as well. How many times have I talked about former national champions? That's the quality of riders that are here. It's non-stop. Cowan from Canada, former Criterium national champion, on the front right now. M&M, Matt Maddox sitting on the back. He flew on the airline, and I'm not going to throw Delta under the bus, but his bike got broken when he opened it up yesterday at the bike race. The airline destroying his bike, so now he's riding on one of the spare bikes, trying to be able to do the best he can while he's here. He comes from Florida, so it's not like he has a lot of choices to know what kind of bikes he can be able to ride, but horrible luck for Maddox as he decided to be able to come here for the final races of Speed Week.
Well, I'll tell you what, the young man leading the field through that time, he is our 16-year-old junior, Matthew Crabb from Buford, Georgia. He's a member of the World Championship Cyclocross squad, and he's got a number of big UCI podiums under his belt, and he's a very talented Criterium rider. I believe he was a national champion in his 15-16 Criterium last year, and I think he'd probably like to try and repeat that again this year. So great to see Matthew with us out here. And from what I understand, he's now raced every category at the Athens Twilight. This year he did the pro race.
And I'm thinking that might be Mathern in that DDP outfit. He's another one of the young riders. You were just talking about Matthew Crabb, 16. Mathern is right in line with that as well. So we're going to wait to get confirmation of who that is once they come around our start-finish line. Lots of racing still to go, as coming up on 16 minutes of racing as they fly around turn number one. And from everybody that's talked about it, pretty much this course is a no-break course. They can take the corners flat out. Sorry, that was Kaysen Smith that is on the front from DDP Elite Cycling. Kaysen Smith, super strong rider. He is in that young category. Zapata following right behind him, and then Lucas Burgoyne, arguably one of the fastest riders in the entire nation. A lot of good sprinters come to Speed Week to find out who is the best early season Criterium racer, and in order to be entitled that, you have to get through Suwanee.
But you can tell by the formation at the front of the field, things starting to ease up just a little bit. Riders getting shoulder to shoulder, no longer in that single file rotation. So we're now about 18 minutes into our race, so kind of normal for the pace to back off for just a moment at this point in the race. Everyone's been going full stick here for the better part of these opening couple laps, so now's the time to sit back for just a moment, kind of assess how you feel, take a look at what the competition is looking like, and start to figure out what the playbook is going to look like, what your tactics are going to look like. Lucas Burgoyne on the front, lead him through, and there goes Foundation on the attack. So good to see the Foundation riders getting back in the mix after a great ride, punching above their weight in Athens on Saturday night. The Foundation, a team based out of New York City. They've been in existence for a number of years. They're a subset of the CRCA, one of the oldest clubs in the U.S., and they've got some private backers that have helped elevate that status for a number of years. This year, they've got a pretty much all-new formation of riders on that squad, and they've actually hired former Cola Vita director Sebastian Alexander to help bring those riders together. And Sebastian takes a very passive approach, encouraging the riders, trying to help them see the best out of each other.
All right, so that's a great point, Bill. Saba Alexander, we call him Saba. Bill, in the post-race after the race when Clever won on Saturday night, it was just such a beautiful story about Saba just giving back. He says the riders are new, but the idea is the same, to win a bike race. And right now, Foundation, we already know how aggressive they can be, and sure enough, there they are.
I think that was Barbosa on the front right there going through, and super strong rider on Foundation, and he's going to try to be able to keep that pressure going.
Followed by Ganoa, Carpenter, and Gibbons.
So Cadence, I think there's a long ways to go, but they do need to try and control this race. They can ride in the front. They can win the race with Lucas Burgoyne. They can keep the overall lead with Fetzer. So they have a lot to be able to go for them to not let a breakaway get away. So they need to sit back and then just chase when it's necessary. But I think if they can keep the group together, they have a great chance of winning the bike race. Riders getting ready to see 32 laps to go as they're coming through. We're about 20 minutes in. Again, we're going for 60 minutes of racing, so still a lot of racing to go as we got our leaders now coming through right now. And only a chance where they bunched up. Look at them bunched up again. A chance to be able to catch their breath and rest.
And it looks like Team Cadence right there is finally trying to stay out of the muck. Yesterday, Hollick went down, so did Fetzer. There were so many riders that went down yesterday for Team Cadence.
Well, once again, Foundation back on the front. Danny Summerhill representing the Legion squad up there. Good to see Danny land on his feet after the team he was riding for last year closed up shop, and Danny found himself a good home to stay in the game out here. And he's been a valuable rider for many teams over the years. Well, things definitely riding a little more controlled right now in the field. It was a very hectic opening couple of laps, but now on 32 to go, things are kind of getting a little composed again. Riders are getting that chance to breathe, take a drink of the water, maybe have an energy gelled. Races of the length of about an hour. You've got to have lots of sugar going through the system. You've got to stay hydrated. You can't get by on just water and nothing else. These races are so fast, so you've got to stay on top of that nutrition.
That's Alfredo Bueno sitting in second position. The rider that was in the breakaway. Going to win, but crashed 5 laps from the end. He slid out, a mistake he made on his own. Normally Legion has been in these light gray jerseys, and it's amazing now they got like these dark blue and the dark purple jerseys. I'm assuming maybe that's their new kits for 2025.
I think it's just a different set of kits. You know, Justin is always on top of his style, so I think he rocked a few different kits.
Yeah, maybe it's just a different kit. I mean, because my point was, is like, why in the world does it take so long, if that's your 2025 kit, to get into May in order to be able to have your team set up with kits? So not really sure if they already had those kits made, because the light gray ones they've been wearing are the same ones they wore last year. And in the first part of the year, they all wore black jerseys, if you remember, from Legion, because it took them forever to be able to get their kit. So great to be able to see it. It's a little bit darker than what I would like, because it's harder to see in the group, but Legion now with a kind of a darker blue purple, a little bit darker than what Kingdom Elite has. As Kingdom Elite's a little bit brighter purple.
Yeah, definitely a little challenging to pick out, especially as the sun has gone down and we're racing back under the lights here in Suwanee. Well, just like that, things starting to heat up a little bit on the front. We're back into that single file formation. We're back to seeing some gaps in our field. Tom Gibbons once again on the front, trying to pick up the momentum of his team. They've got a number of very good riders on the team. Ed Thiel, a member of the Canadian national track team, also a tandem driver for a Paralympic athlete, and he's been training real hard over the winter, trying to get things to come full circle out here.
Bill, that's a great point. I was at the World Championship, no, the U.S. Cup for Para, commentating that, and it was so cool to see the Para athletes mingle with the able athletes, and man, you want to talk about fast. Those three guys on the tandems are whippy fast.
My friend in the yellow jersey there, please lift that back up.
So we had Preston I, Will Hardin, Alfredo Bueno, Senna on that lap, Carpenter, Martinez, Cruz, and Weimar Roldan. Roldan there as well.
Big Will Harding back on the move. The riders from Winston-Salem, riders from Veloci Sports. He's an attacking rider, very aggressive. That's always his best opportunity to get a top result, is to get himself off the road, and he's on the gas right now.
All right, this is a mishmash of bike racers coming through. It looks like maybe that's Ryan Gomez. Oh, that's Bueno. I'm going to have to talk to Matty Rice about changing the kit. Oh, my God, you're killing us, Matty. We love you, but, man, who made that decision? Hey, look, it's just like having an away uniform in football and away in soccer or whatever. Well, Legion's got their away and their home kit, but their home kit is very close to Kingdom Elite's.
Good to see Bueno recovering from last night's mishap. We were watching it on the live stream after he crashed with 5 to go. He literally just sat there in the grass for the next 3 or 4 laps, just frustrated, upset, and pretty much every emotion that you can imagine as he watched that race slip right out of his hands. Once again, it looks like young Mr. Bueno on the move. Actually, that might be Carpenter on the move that time, going down the right side of the fencing. Of course, Carpenter, your winner last night. He was in a 2-rider chase group behind his teammate Bueno. Wasn't doing any work until they came around that turn, and Bueno was sitting in the middle of the road. All of a sudden, he had the license to ride, and, well, then Mike Garrison, and he made it all the way to the finish.
You got to give it to the kid, man. The sentimental favorite's got to be Bueno, because he did the same thing yesterday that Cardoso Cabrera did last night. She made a mistake, redeemed herself tonight. Bueno made a mistake last night with 2 laps left to go and crashed out, and maybe Bueno can get the win. I know that Legion, without a doubt, unequivocally, would love it if he could get this one tonight.
Well, that's the joy of being on the team. It doesn't matter who wins, as long as somebody wins, it's a victory for everybody. Right now, we got a big gap by Mr. Carpenter coming down the pike. It looks like potentially the Caden squad on the chase. But right now, this is going to be Robin Carpenter, the man out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, living in Boston right now with 26 laps to go.
Yeah, for you old schoolers, Robin used to, Bill, you can correct me, but pretty close to Manayunk-Wall.
Yeah, he actually grew up right in that Manayunk neighborhood, went to college at Swarthmore, which is down in the Philadelphia area, and yeah, he completely cut his teeth in the Philadelphia and the Delaware Valley racing scene. I do believe, Chad, we're coming up on the halfway point of this race, and well, we all know what that means in Speed Week.
Yep, that means we are going to offer up a sprint points 10, 7, 5, 3, and 2 laps. 2 points. Looks like Brian Gomez for Kingdom Elite getting his sea legs. Man, he was a bit wobbly in the choppy seas a couple of days, or about a week ago, but man, he has come good lately. Driving the front, we've got the mid-race right there. Gomez trying to get help, and he's going to get none. That looked like Carpenter trying to bridge across for that. Nope, that was Bueno.
But Will Hardin was also up in that mix, and you could see Gomez looking for a little help, and Hardin saying, sorry, man, I am just not going to help you up there. I stand corrected. That was actually Zapata, Hardin's teammate. So he was actually riding in defense of Hardin. I got mistaken on the helmet color there.
You wonder how valuable that is for Will Hardin to have Zapata do that. Just that's a bullet that he doesn't have to spend, because Will has spent, well. Look at Fetzer. Wearing the orange of Jack Rue, but it looked like, was that Burgoyne on the chase right behind?
So Fetzer with a big move into that left-hander that's going to take him to the top of the course. He is intent on getting maximum sprint points here. He's got the whole group chasing him down. We've got that rider again from Winston-Salem, Zapata, trying to get on the wheel. He would love to snatch those points or at least get second place point, but Fetzer looks like he's going to drive this one all the way down to the line. That is a big effort. Bueno coming through in third. Clever Martinez also getting points as well.
Yeah, Zapata, Bueno, Martinez, Garrison, and Gomez. Man, if that's not a hit list for you right there, that is a big, strong group of 5 that push the pace on the front.
Well, as we always talk about, these are the moments that are a perfect time to do some counterattacking. Well, you could see how fast Fetzer had that group strung out for that point sprint. So if you're sitting back 6, 7, 8 in the top 10, now's a great time to keep that momentum rolling if you can and try and keep that pace hot, because every time it gets fast like that, it's just moments away from potentially snapping.
All right, if that's your stomach grumbling, we still have the food trucks up there. And if you're thirsty, Still Fire Brewing is over there, still serving up some amazing beverages for you guys to consume. So our food trucks are there, and Still Fire Brewing right underneath the flyover.
Well, just like that, we've got the first serious breakaway off the front here tonight, rolling on through. That is going to be Hardin, joined by one of our Cadence riders coming through there. Burgoyne, Arango, Gomez, Garrison, and Martinez all up there.
Followed by Fetzer, Summerhill, and Para, the who's who of Speed Week right now.
Summerhill's the first Legion rider, because I was going to say that's the one that they were missing in that group. If that would have gone away, Legion would have had to be able to bring that back. Automatic Racing a little bit further back in the pack as well. On the back there is Timothy Rugg. He took a big break from cycling as he just returned and has been finding his legs. Clever Martinez now on the front, out of the saddle, making his way down. He senses the fatigue starting to set in, and now he's trying to be able to take advantage of that. He won the Athens Twilight Criterium. The rider in the front from Venezuela. The Colombians now take over.
Well, Gomez and Arango up there in the mix. Juan Arango, an Olympian, a points race rider on the track. So very, very fast rider. Harden, Burgoyne, Fetzer, Summerhill, Para also up in that mix, along with Maurice Ballerstedt, our friend from Germany.
Yeah, that's a good sign for Ballerstedt, the German, coming over, racing the World Tour lever. Now, back here, not back here, he's in the stage racing. Tell you who's impressing me right now. He's starting, Bill, you see it, like stage race legs. Frank, you see it, stage race legs. It takes a couple races to get under you. Brian Gomez has been at the sharp end of this bike race the entire time, and same thing last night, he just missed out.
Yeah, Gomez, his form definitely picking up through the week, and lucky for him, we've still got 3 races to go in Speed Week. We're going to be in Spartanburg on a Friday night, and then we've got LaGrange and College Park over the weekend to wrap up another year of Speed Week. So Gomez coming into form at a great time here.
Boy, there's a lot of fish in the ocean, and we've hooked a couple, but none have been able to bring them in. Will Harden on the front right there, followed by Burgoyne, Gomez, Summerhill, Fetzer. Same name, same people, same time.
So you can see the Cadence riders, they are setting this thing up for a field sprint, but you saw Carpenter going up the left-hand side into that turn, and Carpenter dead set on trying to get up the road. He knows that's his best chance to leapfrog up in the points, and last night was a big step forward for him.
Big gap right now with the rider going up the front, and the riders in the back have all started coasting. It's been so fast, they're trying to be able to catch their breath, and so now it's an opportunity that one rider is trying to be able to get away, and I don't know if he's the one you want to let get too big of a gap. It's Robin Carpenter and Burgoyne, the sprinter, now going after him. So Legion of Los Angeles and Cadence each about to have a rider in the breakaway if Lucas Burgoyne can catch up to Robin Carpenter. Now, when you're bridging a gap like this, you need to do it very quickly and immediately. You cannot let it linger, and that is what's going to determine if Lucas Burgoyne makes it up to the leaders.
You just saw Lucas turn his head and look back, because that's the tell that he is not going to get across potentially. Looking back, looking for help. Will Harden coming. And so those are some of your top riders here in the season, or in the series rather. Burgoyne and Harden now in pursuit of Carpenter. Clever Martinez with a bit of a quiet night last night. Maybe just kind of turned the legs over, a little more focused on tonight, a little more focused on the rest of the races in the series. He's right back to what he does, riding very strongly at the front for his foundation squad. So right now, Robin Carpenter looking like he's extending his lead just a little bit. The chasers have been caught by the rest of the field. You can see Fetzer still up in the mix, so they're going to have to react very, very quickly, though. As we said earlier, it's going to be a tall order for one rider to do this solo.
So Cesar Serna sitting in about 4th wheel from Team Cadence. Lucas needs to tell him to just go to the front. You need to shut this down. Robin Carpenter is going to move up so much in the standings because he'll be able to pick up this win. Cadence Cyclery, I don't think he wants this to happen. Cheer him on, look at this. Robin Carpenter going solo. Look at the gap, 19 laps to go. One rider up the road, it's a 5-second gap, 5-second gap. It's all strung out right now. Speed still hitting 30 miles an hour. Robin Carpenter coming out of Massachusetts area, originally from Philly. And these guys have talked about in some of the other races, he trains throughout the winter. He doesn't have the advantage of the warm weather riding. He's tough and goes out there and just suffers through that cold weather to be able to put in the miles, and right now it's paying off for him because he has a 10-second lead.
Well, I'll tell you what, the field is keeping him honest right now. Caden's on the front, and I think they must have heard what you were talking about there, Frankie, putting Serna on the front, making him use a whole lot of energy, and that's what a good teammate does. He's got to bring this back. Burgoyne and Fetzer, two of the fastest sprinters in the group, but if they want to get on the top step, they need to have that opportunity, and Carpenter is the wrong guy to give a leash to.
And remember, it's a very fast course, so it's not that easy to be able to bring back some of these riders coming by. 18 to go, Robin. I'm going to give you a 5-second gap. 5-second gap. Clever Martinez all on his own. You know what? Clever Martinez has been a one-man foundation team. Going back through the pack here, I'm gonna jump the gun here, but there's one right there. There's one foundation rider left. Oh, there's one right next to him also. 2 foundation riders left in this entire race. And so that's why a lot of this is falling on Clever Martinez's shoulders. Caden's now trying to be able to go across. Luke Fetzer needs to pay attention. If Will Hardin moves, Luke Fetzer needs to be able to move as well.
Well, I suspect Hardin is going to move relatively soon. You can see this gap maybe starting to come down just a little bit. That's going to be Burgoyne on the chase. Then we've got another one of the foundation riders, so not sure who that one is that maybe Clever was doing a little work to set up.
Carpenter with a little glance over the shoulder, trying to be able to see what's happening on. Again, I talked about it. It's a very, very fast course. A lot of momentum. So if you're sitting in, if you're able to keep some fresh legs, you can really make a big difference coming down the straightaway. Trying to see who this is. I think that might be Caesar Serna, maybe. Yeah, Lucas Burgoyne, look at him tucked in. He's going to get up to Robin Carpenter. Foundation chasing. Fetzer should sit as he's gonna. Sitting in 4th wheel. And the rest of the riders all strung out in a single file line.
Stephen Polanco from the foundation squad doing a great job to pull up there. Now Fetzer and Gomez getting up there. Fetzer going to do his best to slow things down a little bit because this is a pretty advantageous move for the Caden squad to get Burgoyne up the road with Carpenter. They'd love to see this one go the distance.
Brian Gomez on his own now trying to go across, and Fetzer following that move. That's good. Fetzer in the orange jersey, he's not going to have to pull because he has a teammate right in front of him. Gaps are starting to open up. Kason Smith, he needs to react to this as well. Will these guys be able to stay away, or are they going to all get reeled back in? 17 laps to go.
Suwanee, make a little bit of noise. We've got our leaders coming down the home straight here. Robin Carpenter still on the front. Fetzer in the mix, as well as Burgoyne, and Brian Gomez also in the mix.
Did you see how hard Brian Gomez was pushing on those pedals? I thought he was going to break the frame. I mean, he was determined. He's like, this is it. Oh my goodness, these guys are flying through this home stretch. Now the gaps are starting to open up. Riders are actually pulling out of the line because they just can't keep up. Last 2 laps have been a hot lap to say the least. Has to have been the fastest lap we've had. Carpenter, the only one being able to go with Brian Gomez. Even the Cadence riders sat up.
The alarm bells are going off in the field right now. This is crunch time. We are over 41 minutes. We are 2/3 of the way through our professional men's race, and they are laying it all on the wire right now.
If that's Juan Arango going up, that's going to be bad for Cadence. They're going to have to shut that down. Juan Arango is sitting 3rd in the overall classification, so Cadence cannot let that rider get to the biker cycling team go up the road. Got to pay attention to that.
Just at the front of the field, you saw Fetzer and Burgoyne looking at each other, trying to figure out who was going to chase. Hardin as well. Now a big move out of Richard Holek to try and save the day.
All right, that was Arango, Gomez, Carpenter, and Cruz, followed by Burgoyne. We're saying the same names time and time again. Para, Pablo Zapata, and Fetzer. Man, reset. Oh, man, the messes started right at the front. Nobody can get control of this. It's like a bunch of dominoes that are being toppled over those little pickup sticks that you had as a kid in the 70s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bill, it looks like everybody's involved right now from a team standpoint.
Well, I'll tell you, the one major player not in there is Fetzer and Harden, right? Fetzer and Harden, I don't see them in that mix, so that's going to be a dangerous game to play for these guys.
Yep, that's not Cruz. That's number 32. That is Hollick, Richard Hollick. So if you're at home watching, we've seen the guy race week, hour, minute. That is the Croatian Richard Hollick, rider number 32 for Team Cadence.
Well, now the big question, Chad, is who is left to chase? Foundation has kind of missed the boat, and of course Winston-Salem has missed the boat. So they're the two riders, really, their teams, and Automatic, they've got the obligation to try and bring this one back.
So this is where Biker Cycling Team. So Biker Cycling Team, you've got Arango probably going to sit in the front with Zapata doing all the work. And for the Biker Cycling Team, they're in that multicolored, kind of checkered looking kit.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, that's a great move by them to put two riders in this move. Very astute racing here as we are now on 13 to go on the lap cards. 13 to go, riders.
You know what? Oh, man, we got two really powerhouse trying to drive it across. Ama Insect. I guess that... And it says potentially Flout.
Yeah, Ama Ensek, he was the rider tail gunning early in the race. He was the rider that we were waiting for to get the race started so he could get his timing tip on. We talked about last night how he was tail gunning, and just like that, he's now trying to put himself into the mix.
Arango is in third in the overall standings. He's in that front group. Cadence Cycling has Lucas Burgoyne and Luke Fetzer. Fetzer is number 1 in the standings. Lucas Burgoyne is number 3 in the standings. And yet Hollick seems to be driving this along with everybody else. So the rider in the green jersey should be sitting on because this is not helping out Cadence at all. In the meantime, cheer him on. Look at that. Brian Gomez plowing through. Robin Carpenter sitting right in second.
You can see all those riders riding very tight on the right side. This is going to be Big Tom Gibbons now leading the rest of the group for the Automatic squad. So this break is not gone yet. That gap is starting to come down just a little bit. You can see right now in the orange and the blue stripe, that's going to be Tom Gibbons trying to keep things honest in the rest of the field, all lined out. So Robin Carpenter desperately trying to make this one work.
Little glance over the shoulder and Automatic racing in the orange jerseys, I believe, are the ones trying to chase it down. And if they are doing that, they're trying to be able to set it up for Thomas Gibbons. And I wouldn't be surprised if Thomas Gibbons is the one doing the work himself. And it is. It's Thomas Gibbons doing the work himself, trying to be able to bring this back in. Himself a chance to be able to deliver victory. So right now, again, Richard Hollick, rider from Czechoslovakia, sitting on the front right now, keeping it going. Needs to be able to pay attention to what's happening back. But look at that. That's Lucas Burgoyne getting down, sitting in third wheel. He's got a gap. Burgoyne might be able to go across the gap. Gibbons, another Bikers rider, right in there as well as they continue to be able to push the pace, and that's going to be Jaime Castaneda.
Well, Lucas Burgoyne making a big move around the outside right there. I think he was going to try and jump the group there through that turn. He knows if he can make a big push through that right-hand turn and into the next part of the course just straight ahead of us, he may be able to ditch everybody and solo across to that group and get a little more representation, because obviously being outnumbered up there is going to be a challenging thing, and that's not the favorable tactic that they'd like to play.
Welcome back to the second annual Outside Festival, presented by Capital One REI.
Meet Jonathan Thompson, an international travel writer on a mission to discover the most dynamic adrenaline-fueled destinations on the planet. Join Jonathan as he explores the world's best adventure cities.
You know, we were just talking about maybe Richard Hollick shouldn't be riding. Well, now Hollick should be driving the train.
Yeah, he should be driven. Now, look, it's probably the Will Harton show right here. No, it's actually his teammate who's trying to do a work. Team was in Salem coming correct tonight, really driving the pace. And I guarantee you, if he gets close, Will Harton's going to try to jump across.
Yeah, and if Will Harden goes, Luke Fetzer is going to follow him as well, so they're waiting to see if they can bring it down. Riders coming around turn number one. They're going to see 9 laps to go. Hey, Suwanee, do you think the breakaway can stay away? Oh, we're cheering them on. Let's see what can happen. Here they come. Now it's one rider solo. Biker cycling team. That's the danger man as well, as that's going to be Juan Arando trying to be able to go off by himself. Ring those bells and make some noise.
Well, you knew it was coming. When you've got the numbers in the break, you've got the responsibility to make the race. And Juan Arango not looking to take all those riders to the line, so he leads that through on the move. And Robin Carpenter very quick to chase a 4 Legion. It looks like Arango has been caught on the upper portion of the course. Carpenter leading the charge. Zapata has been caught. Arango sitting on Carpenter's wheel. And I'll tell you what, if that group starts to play these games from this far out, starts these attacks from this far out, that is not going to bode well for their success. And that breakaway is just about to come back to heel.
Brought them all back. Will Harden went through him, and now he's going through. Fetzer needs to react to this, and there he is in the orange, getting ready to be able to go. Or unless that is Gibbons, I'm not really sure. Can't really tell. Going to be able to keep an eye. Will Harden going up, and it is Fetzer. Fetzer trying to be able to protect his overall lead from Speed Week, reacting to it immediately. Good race tactics, right? I mean, he's sensing it. He's racing by instinct. Excellent move right there.
I think Will might not get caught. He just might drive 3 or 4 riders with him. Now bikers are sitting up. Michael Garrison now squeaking towards the front.
We haven't talked about him. That's rolling the dice.
Yeah.
Like, I would be so scared a break is going to go up the road. You're going to have no chance of winning. Garrison has been sitting in, saying, all right, I'm going to wait, I'm going to gamble. And now with 8 laps to go, this is the first time we're talking about one of the strongest riders in the race, Michael Garrison, who just came up to the front.
Fatigue is getting real. These guys are getting sloppy on their attacks. The bridge ups are getting more paced, more measured, more time. Right now, Will Harden is driving it. Got Carpenter there as well. No, no, Ty Magner? It's hard to see. That's Danny Summerhill, we think, coming out of the shadows. Oh, this thing is just like a busted pipe in winter. Water's going everywhere.
There goes Garrison. Michael Garrison leading the charge, and we were waiting for that move, and now the biker cycling team coming on through. They're going to try and rally. They're going to try and let Arango recover and get back into the mix. But Michael Garrison, he sat back all day, waited for this moment, right?
Hey, usually he's the aggressor, but now he's being super patient. So you got Garrison, Potter, Summerhill, Harden, Fetzer, Preston I. Hey, the local boy out of Suwanee in North Gwinnett is making the move as well. Boy, would that kid go bonkers if he got the win. Tacked on the back, there's Preston.
Well,
You know what he said? Oh, sorry, go ahead, Bill.
This is another very dangerous group starting to take shape. You can see there's about 6 in the front, 3 chasers, 2 more, and then the rest of the field. So getting dark out here. We're working with lots of shadows. We're trying to identify. We know that is now Hardin. We've got Fetzer in the mix. I'm not sure if that's Garrison and Summerhill at the very least in that group as they make our way down to us. Hey, Suwanee, make a little bit of noise for these riders. We are going to ring the bell for the point sprint. 10-7-5, a 3-2 point sprint on the line.
Oh, look at Brian Gomez and Hollick and Arango trying to get back.
With Preston I leading the group through Fetzer, Martinez, Para, Hardin, Garrison, and Summerhill all on the move.
There's been a Ty Magner sighting from Legion trying to bridge across as well. Ty is dragging the group of 4 with him. This is just incredible bike racing.
It is amazing how they can ride this Grupo Compacto all night, and in these last 12 laps, it literally all is just hitting the fan.
Now, Bill, it looks like if Ty gets across, we're going to have 10, 12 riders in the move.
I spied Clever Martinez up in that move as well. You can see that GoPro helmet on his head, and yeah, I believe that's going to be roughly 10 or 11. Hardin going to lead through. Remember, we've got a point sprint on the line. They are out of the saddle. Hardin is going to drive the train down the hill right now. Fetzer's going to make his move in the leader's jersey. Oh my.
Fetzer gets points, followed by Hardin. It looks like after that, Preston I, Para, and Garrison. And this is a prize fight with 50 people in the ring.
Look at the gap
Gone.
that group has pulled out. Look at that gap, Suwanee. There's a whole lot of daylight right now back to our chasers.
Now it switches because if you add Ty Magner to this group, Legion then has firepower as well.
Right, Legion now has Summerhill and Magner up at the front, so they've got 2 of their best sprinters on the team now in this group. Carpenter played his hand earlier. Now it's time for their sprinters to go to work.
My only concern, Bill, is there's just too many riders in that group. And if the gap's not over 10 seconds, they might start playing around and a gap might happen. Now, a winning move will come from this group, but the others may get gobbled up from playing chess.
Yeah, my guess is Summerhill might take the reins and try and keep this group a little bit under control. Ty Magner, we know he's in the twilight of his career. He would love to pull down one more big win at least before he pulls the curtain down. 4 to go, riders. 4 to go, 4 to go, 4 to go. So Jordan, Para, Summerhill, Martinez, Holek, Preston I, Wanarango, Michael Garrison, Brian Gomez, Luis Para, and Will Hardin are your members of that front group.
Time gap's about 15 seconds. Uh-oh, are they playing around a little bit?
You called it. It was bound to happen.
Yeah.
There's too many Chiefs, not enough Indians, and it's going to break up.
Now it looks like we've got a group split from the split. We're playing catch up just like you guys are. There's so much going on right now. It's like 52 card pickup. Yep, we've got a split of the split.
It looks like Holek leading him through. I believe that's going to be Holek on the lead. Martinez was in that mix. Group 2 maybe caught by the field. We're going to see in just a minute. Hey, Suwanee, help us out a little bit. Make a little noise for our pro men. 3 to go, 3 laps to go.
Yep, we've got a split of the split, but we don't know where everybody else went. Oh, we do have a split of the split. So 2 groups, and Bill, we talked about it. That was destined to happen.
So Richard Holek looks like he's driving the train up at the front. We're trying to identify the rest of the riders. We know Clever Martinez in the group. Two of the bikers cycling team up in that group as well. You have to assume that that's going to be Arango and Para. Yeah, indeed, it's those two up in the group. And Danny Summerhill now, the last man standing for Legion in the front.
But to me, that looked like Ty Magner. No, that's Danny Summerhill. Yep, that's Danny for sure. And again, sorry guys, but there is so much going on right now. We're trying to give you correct information.
Hey Jack, you know who else is in that split?
Preston I.
The local guy, Preston I, is in your leading group right now as they make their way down here. I believe we are going to have a little gambler Pream action.
Gambler Pream!
Attention riders, $250 gambler. $250 gambler Pream on 2 to go.
That is your winning move right there. The split is toast. These guys missed the opportunity. It's gone. Gomez missed it. Fetzer missed it. Hardin missed it.
Oh, what a finale to this race. I'm not sure I can pick who's going to come out with this.
Oh, no way. Yeah.
Summerhill was on the podium last night.
Yep.
He got third, so we know he's got some great leg speed. We actually don't know how Holek can sprint. We've not really seen him sprint.
He does everything else.
We know Mr. Martinez has a little bit of speed in those Venezuelan legs.
Man, this is so... Danny Summerhill is just... He can do it all, so you might have to tip your cap to that, but Clever Martinez... normally we would go, yep, this is your guy. But tonight, with all this going on, tired legs, you can stand up to sprint, your body shuts you down. You're like, nope, you're not sprinting tonight, dude. You are toast.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to make one more big round of noise because we are going to ring the bell for one lap to go. So let's send these riders off to the biggest wall of noise you can make. One to go, one to go, one to go, one to go, one lap to go.
Well, you have Summerhill, then Arango, Para, Preston I, and Richard Hollick. Hey guys, one to go. Now Garrison and Ty Magner trying to get across. Gentlemen, you have one to go. Everybody's done right there. One to go, one to go.
Oh, look at the rest of the field almost back on turns.
Tiesler.
The Butcher Box squad getting in on the action. One to go now for all of our riders. Remember, we've got an Olympian points racer in this group, Juan Arango. We've got Danny Summerhill, who was on the podium last night. We've got the winner of the Athens Twilight Criterium, Clever Martinez, in this group. They are going to be in the last turn momentarily. Chad, bring these guys home.
Ladies and gentlemen, when in doubt, lead it out. Summerhill's trying to get onto Arango. Arango's holding him. Summerhill trying to go through. Danny Summerhill. Danny Summerhill gets the win. Legion of Los Angeles. Danny Summerhill back to back. Union City and Suwanee.
What a wonderful finish. Welcome home all of our riders here tonight in Suwanee.
Check.
For a first-year event, this could not be any better. So thankful for you, y'all opening up your community to us.
I opined Danny Summerhill. And Danny gets the win. It was hard to tell whether it was Para or Arango. They both came across so fast for biker cycling team. But regardless, Danny Summerhill, the Legion of Los Angeles, gets the win. What a backdrop, what a bike race. And we think Preston I might have climbed on the podium. You think he had Suwanee juice flowing through his body? North Gwinnett? Danny Summerhill. Wow.
Riders right now in a cool-down lap on the backside. Hey, Swans, you guys have a good time tonight? What do you think?
Yeah.
Should we come back next year?
Yeah.
Oh, we're excited. What a beautiful venue. I'm telling you, it's probably one of the best venues we have at Speed Week. Great to be able to be here. I can't believe the race course also, the speeds, the corners just flying around here as we're waiting for right now the leader of Legion. Winner of the race, Danny Summerhill, to come back around. Unofficially, Jordan Parr from Biker Cycling Team second. And what a podium appearance a little bit later on. Your local rider from right here in Suwanee, Preston I, picking up a third place. Hey, Danny, come on up to the line. Chad Andrews going to do our winner interview.
Well, Danny, back to back, my friend. Legion of Los Angeles, Danny Summerhill. Danny, was it as chaotic to you guys as it was to us those last 30 laps?
It's always a new dynamic when you come to something new like this, and I think it was probably pretty hectic for all of us out there.
Tell us a little about the course, because the venue itself is stunning. Was it kind of a no-break course where you guys could just rip it for the entire hour?
Yeah, essentially, because there's not exactly any real corners. They all just sort of like they're bends in the road, you know, so people have a different idea of how to take those corners, and it's just, yeah, it was wild.
And somehow it made the course really hard. Breakaways, constant reshuffling. How did you end up getting the win when you had, at one point you had half your team up, half your team behind? Matter of fact, Bill and Frankie and I were like, we quite frankly don't know who's in the move right now because there was so much shuffling.
Yeah, I think that's the beauty of majority of our team, is we've all been doing this for so long that I think we just have a sixth sense, if you will, of what needs to happen and how it will happen. So at any point, a couple of us were up the road and the other half were sort of resting and just knowing that it'll be our turn soon once they start to suffer.
It was your turn. Back-to-back, ladies and gentlemen, for Legion of Los Angeles, Danny Summerhill.
Thank you so much.
All right, Danny, go celebrate with your team. Bill Elliston going to be jumping on the podium presentation. And don't forget, we're going to be doing the podium right here, so we need our ladies here for the podium as well. Oh, and so, by the way, if you're wondering how we have this fancy new podium for USACRITS and Speed Week, well, 2 of them got crushed in an accident. So we're going to manufacture podiums, and it's hard to get a podium fix like that. So we're going to do it. We're going to rely on Cobes here to frame the shot so it looks like World Pro. But, yeah, unfortunately, they got crushed in an accident. So we're good. Now on to our podium.
Hey, Valeria Cardoza Cabrera, is she around? Cardoza Cabrera, are you around? Valeria, where are you? come to the start and finish line. MBO, where are you? Are you guys ready? No, that's something different. They're giving high fives. They ain't raising their hands for us. Hey, once again, looking for MBO. You have representatives. Cardoza Cabrera, where are you? Juan Arango, are you around? Oh, there you go. Here, go ahead, do the women.
All right, I believe we are ready to get our podium presentations here underway. We're going to start with our women's podium. Please welcome up to the box, third place tonight. She rides for the Legion of Los Angeles. This is Kendall Ryan. On the second step of the podium, she rides for the Live Racing Team, all the way from Australia, Peta Mullins. And on the top step, your champion after such a close call last night. She made this her redemption tour, riding for MBO. Please welcome Valeria Cardoza Cabrera. Ladies and gentlemen, your women's pro podium, Ryan, Mullins, and Cabrera. Cabrera getting the winner's jersey on the day, courtesy of Jack Rue. All right, one more time, hands in the air, your professional women's podium. Now we'd like to welcome up to the podium your overall leader in the women's speed week competition, the same as it's been. Please welcome to the top step there, Holly Breck. Now you get a long seat for the collection. Ladies and gentlemen, your overall leader, this is Holly Breck from the Legion of Los Angeles. All right, we are going to move directly into our men's professional podium. In third place, he rides for Team Flicker. He's the local guy here in town. Let's give a warm welcome to Mr. Preston I. On the second step, riding for the Biker Cycling Team, this is Jordan Para. And your winner tonight with a blazing sprint out of that late race breakaway. He rides for the Legion of Los Angeles. Give it up for Danny Summer.